What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. K-Rino, look, we are here on what's this? This is a Tuesday night, huh? Tuesday night, we up in this thing, man. And the reason why I'm hitting y'all Tuesday is because I know Friday I'm gonna be busy. Got shows and stuff coming up, and I want to make sure that I get to holler at my family before I get to moving around, going out of town. So I'm gonna touch on this early, man, and it is early. Y'all know your boy be on a little bit later than this. I say this on every video. So if you see me on any time before 10 o'clock, then y'all already know that I'm doing a good job. As you come into the room, man, do me a favor and hit that like button. Y'all click that like button for your big brother as you come in, because we're gonna go right into it, man. We got to tackle this concept, this mindset that's been imposed on us for a long time. I see you, Michael and Marcus. Yeah, this mindset that's been imposed on us for a long time, man. Hit that like button as y'all come in. I'll give y'all a little more time because I want everybody, as many people that's around to hear this. I want people to get a chance to hear where I'm going with this because as it relates to Black people, we have to really attack this mindset. We got to make sure that people don't get comfortable because they're already comfortable. So we got to take them out of the comfort zone. Nikki, Nikki, can't you see? We got to take people out this comfort zone of thinking that they can just handle us any kind of way. And the reason why people think that they can handle us any kind of way is because, unfortunately, we have let them handle us any kind of way. So the key principle of the word respect is that people are only going to give you the amount of respect that you, number one, give yourself, and that number two, that you command for them to give you. That's it. If you don't put any weight or emphasis or pressure on people to respect you, then they're not going to respect you. Plain and simple. See, and if they see that you don't have a respect for yourself, then they're not going to respect you either. They're going to continue to exploit. They're going to continue to use, manipulate, uh, push you around, lie, steal, kill, whatever it is they can get away with. So the reason why I titled this video what I titled it is because that is the mentality of a lot of these corporation owners, a lot of these leaders and owners of the entertainment industry, of the sports industry, of the music industry, all these different industries that consist of billionaires that have the ability to make you a millionaire, billionaires that can create millionaires. So when they make you a millionaire, they still don't look at you from a point of view of respect. They look at you as a dollar sign. They look at you as somebody who can, okay, these people, these athletes, these musicians, they can generate billions for me. So by them generating billions for me, the least I can do is break them off a few crumbs, a few millions. That's light work to them. So we get disillusioned, well, we get delusional because we'll look up and see somebody that's making $100 million. We'll look up and see somebody they got a contract for 50 million or this or that, or the Coca-Cola gave them 20 million. And we look at that, of course, it's a lot of money, but we look at that as, wow, they have power now. No, you don't have power. You got a lot of money. You don't even have wealth. You don't even have wealth because the money and the wealth is two different things if you understand how it works. So we get so focused on money, man. I'm getting money. I'm out to get money. I'm getting money. I'm getting money. And in reality, they are building wealth. They have already built wealth, or in some cases, stolen wealth, because a lot of the credit that's given to these slave masters who still run this country, who still making $1 million slaves, they get a lot of credit for building up their wealth, for putting themselves up and working hard. And my family came over here as immigrants from Europe and this and that, or whatever they say, when in reality, they are the descendants of slave owners whose wealth was handed down to them based on the wealth that was generated from free slave labor centuries ago. That's just an actual, undisputable fact. If you don't like it, then don't argue with me, argue with history. So fast forward into what made me come up with this topic is I seen where the basketball player, the NBA player, Demarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins, he's been in the league about 10 or 12 years now. All-star player, has some injuries. He's on a decline now because he's had a few injuries. He's not the same player that he was, even though he's still real good. And he's made a lot of money in his time in the NBA. And he started his career out with the Sacramento Kings. And when he started with the Kings, he played there for about 7 years. He played the majority of what his career is now. He played the majority in Sacramento. The last 2 years, he's been bouncing around. So he made a comment recently talking about Sacramento didn't do nothing for me. He said, I had 7 coaches in 7 years. And, he just broke down a lot of the negative side of what it was like to be playing for that franchise. 2 owners, he said, 2 team owners at the time. And just, it was no stability when he was there. So he basically said Sacramento didn't do anything for me. So this cat comes out, former coach in the NBA, former coach of DeMarcus Cousins, who never really liked DeMarcus Cousins. So this guy don't even coach no more. He comes out, his name is George Karl. I'm very familiar with George Karl simply because when I was growing up, he was one of the main coaches in the league. He coached for Seattle. He coached Golden State Warriors, I think. He coached a few teams back in the 80s, in the 90s, all the way up into the 2000s. Coached Milwaukee. And George Karl is a guy who's coached a long time, but he's never won anything. He's not in the caliber of a Phil Jackson. He's not of the caliber of a Pat Riley or Popovich. He's not on that level. He's never won anything. And the one time that he went to the championship, he got beat by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan and the Bulls spanked his team real good, even though I like the team, it was Seattle, I like Peyton and Kemp. But he's never won. This man has never won nothing. So he got a lot of wins in his career because he's been coaching 40 years. So, of course, he's got a lot of wins. He's coached some good teams, but never did anything else. So he never liked DeMarcus Cousins. He comes out and makes comments about, well, wait a minute. You say Sacramento never did anything for you. They gave you an opportunity to play basketball. They gave you made $50 million while you were with Sacramento. He's going down this list of things that he's saying that the Sacramento Kings did for him. But as I was reading that list, I was basically disputing everything that he was saying, because for him to say, well, they gave you an opportunity to play basketball, DeMarcus Cousins was a lottery pick. If Sacramento wouldn't have picked him, somebody else would have picked him. It just fell in terms of how the lottery laid out. He was their draft pick. He was the guy that they went with. But you think that if Sacramento wouldn't have drafted him, nobody else would have come behind and drafted him? Somebody else would have picked him up too. So you could say, well, they gave you an opportunity to play, but he was going to play. He was going to make that $50 million more wherever he went. Then to say, well, you made $50 million, just like I said, he was going to get that anyway, or maybe more. And there was no stability within that organization, so he never got a chance to they never put a good team around him. They never built a good team around him back when he was a hell of a player. So I'm saying all this. Let me I skipped the part. The counter to what he's saying about DeMarcus Cousins and what Sacramento did for him, the counter to that is when they say these types of things, they never consider what Demarcus Cousins or any other player or athlete did for that franchise or for that organization. The Sacramento Kings is another organization. They have never won anything. They've been around forever and ever and ever and ever. They've never won anything. I used to really rock with Sacramento back in the early 2000s because they had a good team that almost beat the Lakers. They almost beat Kobe and Shaq. They had Chris Webber. They had Mike Bibby. They had Doug Christie and Stojakovic and all those guys. They had a really, really good team. And I used to low-key pull for them to beat the Lakers. But since then, they've been in the lottery pretty much every year. I don't even think they made the playoffs since those teams, right? So you stick DeMarcus Cousins, a young player in his prime, in that type of situation and never give him anything around him to help him win, you're not doing him any favors or any justice. You're doing him a disservice as a player. You're not building an organization to win. But while you're talking about everything that they did for him, what about what he did for the organization? Again, he's a lottery pick, so people spending money buying tickets to come see him play. That's more money being generated for that franchise, for that organization. Oh, also, people buying jerseys. People buying his jersey with his number on it, with his name on the back. Those jerseys ain't cheap. That's money being generated for the organization. I don't even know if the players get a split or get a percentage of that money that's made from jersey sales or any merchandise that has their name on it. I don't even know if they get a percentage of that. So we're not going to act like, oh, and he's a multiple all-star. So we're not going to act like it's a one-sided event. It's a one-sided affair where the organization is giving, and then the player's not giving nothing back. Oh, that player generated something for that team as well. And by the way, George Karl, what did you do to help DeMarcus Cousins? What did you do? You did the same thing you did with a lot of other of your players. You alienated them. This is the same guy who wrote a book where he was disrespecting Carmelo Anthony in his book. This is George Karl, same coach who never won anything, where he's disrespecting Carmelo Anthony and, you know, talking about his game and all that. See, you've never accomplished anything to be on the same. You got the same amount of championship rings as DeMarcus Cousins and Carmelo Anthony. 0. So it's a hypocrisy there. But the big question is, which is leading to what we're talking about. The big question is, what made you, George Karl, who having coached in the NBA probably since you coached DeMarcus Cousins, so he probably haven't coached in the NBA in close to a decade, at least 5, 7, 8 years. What makes you just come out of left field and decide that this is something that you want to speak on? Because this man made this comment. Sacramento ain't paying you no more. I'll tell you what I think it is. It's that same mentality that they like to impose on black people when black people are making millions of dollars, is to shut up, be grateful, and just accept the fact that we giving you this money. You shouldn't have anything to say, anything to complain about. Just accept what we give you and never speak out and never stand on anything, never speak your mind on any principles or any topics that you feel necessary to speak on. Why? Because we gave you that money. And that's a common theme, not just in sports, but in just life, period. That's a common theme on your regular job. For everybody who's on this live who got to get up and go to work tomorrow, whatever it is that you got to do, there are your employers pay you a certain amount, whether you're on salary or whether you get an hourly wage, and they expect you to come to work and do your job, and you go to work and you do your job. But if there's any type of situation that takes place at your job where you feel it's unfair, you feel it's unjust, you feel like the working conditions are not up to par, if you decide to speak out against them, you are labeled a troublemaker. You labeled a problem. Disgruntled them. Those types of athletes When you have one of those types of athletes, when you have one of those types of, you know, every time I start talking about stuff like this, y'all, I just want to let y'all know, you know, they start saying my connection is bad. So if it seems like you lose me, just hang in there because I'm coming right back. But what I was saying is that when you have an entertainer or athlete who speaks out against social injustice, when they speak out against racism, police brutality, government corruption, corruption in religion, corruption in the industry, and in any industry it is, these people are labeled as troublemakers. You go all the way back to Muhammad Ali. The Muhammad Ali that everybody claims to love and admire right now in 2022. If you go back 50 some years ago when Ali first hit the scene, or when Ali first joined the Nation of Islam, they hated Muhammad Ali. They hated Muhammad Ali. The only reason they paid to go to his fights because they wanted to see him lose in person, and he never lost. It took a long time before he finally lost. They stripped him of his title. They stripped him of his title because he spoke out against because he refused the induction into the armed forces because he was against the Vietnam War. He wasn't participating in that as a conscientious objector. So they looked at him as, you're not grateful. Look at this opportunity that we've given you. We've given you an opportunity to become the heavyweight champion of the world in our great country, the United States of America. And this is the thanks that you get. This is the thanks that we get for building you up and paying you all this money. And now you tell me that you don't want to fight for your country. Now, the key word is your country, because it wasn't my country when y'all was hanging black folks. Was it my country when y'all was racially profiling us and telling us we couldn't drink out the same water fountain as you, and when you was spraying us with water hoses and sicking dogs on us and labeling us 3/5 of a human being in the Constitution? Was it our country then? But as soon as a war breaks out, hey man, it's our country, man. Come on, all of us, we need to stick together. See? So that's been a consistent pattern throughout history here in America. So when Ali stood up, he's a problem. He's controversial. He hates America. All these different labels that they give him. Fast forward all the way up to Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick takes his stance or takes his seat, however you want to look at it. And guess what happens? Guess what he's labeled as? He hates America. He's anti-police. He's mad because he lost his starting job. All these different narratives get applied to a person who decides that he's not happy with what he sees in terms of the treatment of his people in a country that he's born in, raised in, country that he loves. And because you claim that that is an act of patriotism if somebody else does it, that you claim that in the Constitution you have the right to speak out, then when you do, or when the wrong people do, you're being ungrateful. So you need to shut up. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, this man has made millions of dollars in this country. They've paid him millions of dollars in this country, and this is how he acts, and this is how he, because again, they feel as though as long as they give you money, that should be enough to pacify you, and the money should cause you to not have a problem simply because you have all this money. But a broad-minded individual, an individual who thinks for the whole, they're not just thinking about themselves in terms of the money that they got. They're thinking about poor people. They're thinking about disenfranchised people. They're thinking about people who don't know where their next dollar, their next meal coming from. They're thinking about people who are living in conditions that are pretty much inhumane right here in this same country. Conditions instituted by the same people who paying you millions of dollars. So the sellouts among us, they'll get on TV and say, Oh, well, man, I mean, that's just an excuse. These people can get up and make something of themselves. Look at me. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yeah, they let you do it. They allowed you to do it because you had something that could benefit them. And see, that's why I'll never understand the mindset that a lot of our people have, that they just look at, they feel like everybody can be a millionaire like they was a millionaire. No, everybody can't run a football like you run a football. Everybody can't sing the way you sing. Everybody can't dance and smile for the white man the way you do. See? Some people got to get it how they get it because the circumstances dictate that. So you can't look at all of us and say, I did it, you should be able to do it. Nah, it ain't that simple. They don't care nothing about you. How many successful black people have we seen just at the pinnacle and peak of their success get torn down by the very people who built them up? See? If you go to the beach and you build a sandcastle, if you go to the beach and you build a sandcastle, you took all that time to build up the sandcastle, to make the sandcastle. You have the power to just slap it down and knock it down anytime you want to because you built it. That's the same mindset that they have when you look at these entertainers out here. When you see them get up to 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, half a million, a billion, it doesn't matter what the amount is. They know in their heart, we can tear this guy down, we can tear this woman down anytime we get ready to. No matter if you Oprah Winfrey, no matter if you Bill Cosby, when they get ready to tear you down, they can tear you down. But the first step in them doing that is for them to be sitting somewhere watching you decide that, oh, I'm standing up for my people. Looking at you on TV and the camera catches you at a rally, standing up with your people against police brutality or something, against racism or something, and they see you because they looking at you. Wait a minute. Them one our niggers down there. What is he doing down there? What is she doing down there? He know better than that. Get him on the phone. See? Because they know to shut you up. They'll quiet you down. Again, y'all bear with me because all of a sudden on this particular live I'm doing, my connection is going in and out. And I don't believe in coincidence. So, y'all bear with me because the connection don't go in and out when I'm just talking about some regular stuff. It's going in and out for some reason tonight. So at the end of the day, they looked at an Ali, they looked at a Colin Kaepernick, they look at a guy like LeBron James. Even this day and time, LeBron may come out and say something or may get some people together and take a stand, and they hate him for it. And they hate LeBron because he don't get in no other kind of trouble. He don't get in trouble with the police. He's not involved in no scandals and all that. So they don't have that kind of dirt on him. So they just come out and just spew all of this negativity at him because that's all they got. Or they'll try to make him to be ignorant. So the ugly white lady that played on Fox, she works for Fox, Laura Ingraham. She told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that whole thing when she said, shut up and dribble. Told him to shut up and dribble. Don't speak on any issues. Don't speak on politics. Don't speak on any social causes. You just shut up and dribble because that's what they look at you as. See? Be grateful, boy or girl. Be grateful. And like I say, even on your regular job, if you are the radical one, if you're the one that will tell the supervisor what you think without any fear, hey, man, I'm going to say what I want to say, man. Man, this ain't right, man. The way y'all running this thing, this ain't right, this ain't right, this ain't right. If you that person that does that, they start trying to figure out how to get you out the door. They immediately are trying to get you out the door because they don't want them kind of problems. So I'm on sports, I'm on entertainment because those are the avenues that we see our people on a big scale, because they're always on TV, they're always on the internet, because again, they're famous multi-millionaire millionaire people. So the similar situation happened with Kyrie Irving the other night, just the other night before last. He playing in Boston. Boston got a reputation for being one of the most racist cities in America, dating all the way back to when Bill Russell was playing for Boston, right? So Kyrie Irving, who used to play for the Boston Celtics, he returns back to Boston to play in a playoff game, and he ended up flipping off one of the fans. He shot the finger at one of the fans because clearly they were saying something to him. Now, Kyrie Irving's an even keel, laid-back guy. He's been fasting for Ramadan, minding his business, being peaceful. People coming out with all kind of negative talk, even ignorant black folks on ESPN talking bad because he didn't bow down and let them punch him in the arm, right? But these fans are in the stands making all these negative comments about him. And trust and believe, it ain't just basketball related comments. This is what people got to understand. When you at these basketball games, when you at these sports events in certain cities like Boston, cities like Utah, like Salt Lake City, man, you'd be surprised. Well, I wouldn't, but some of y'all will be surprised at some of the things that these people say, some of the racial epithets that these spew out towards these players. They call them all kind of names. So if a player responds back or defends himself verbally or even with a gesture, they use that as a moment to just unload all of this negative energy against the player and make him to be some kind of villain, when in reality, he just giving back what was given to him, like any person would do. Somebody cussing you out and calling you a B and talking about your mama and your child and all this different stuff. You know, I don't care. Look, I don't care how much money you got. You're going to react to that in some kind of way. And if it gets racial, then you're definitely going to react to it. But the problem is, when you react to it, the punishment is different. So now they are assessing whether or not or how they're going to punish Kyrie Irving for his gesture, but no punishment was taken on the fans who said what they said. Now, there have been instances where the fans have been caught, pointed out, and removed from the game. We've seen that. But it's not enough. It doesn't happen enough. But the media will still portray Kyrie as this person who, man, he lost control. He flew off the handle. He came unglued. Nah, he just defended himself. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, never be the aggressor in word or deed, but fight with those who fight with you in word and in deed. Deed just means action. So if you talk crazy to me, I can talk crazy to you. You put your hands on me, I'm going to put my hands on you. That's a law. That's a natural law, human law. It's an instinct that they try to downgrade or make non-existent, because people will say, well, oh, man, come on, man, you know, violence isn't the answer. Well, let me tell you that violence ain't the answer if somebody walk up to you in the grocery store and smack you upside the head. Oh, man, come on, man, why'd you do that, man? Violence is not the answer. Your instincts don't even agree with what you're saying out your mouth, because as soon as somebody hits you, your natural instinct is to go right back at them, right? Unless something is wrong with you. So if somebody says something to you, your instinct, whether you say it or not, your instinct is like instantly. You don't get to degrade me or talk down to me or disrespect me just because you paid some money to come see me play. You paid some money to come see me rap, sing, dance, whatever it is, you don't get to disrespect me because of that. That little money you spent on that ticket doesn't give you a license to do that. I'm still a human at the end of the day. But when you have a sense of superiority over me that's in your nature, and you feel as though, oh, I can talk to him any kind of way, he or she is not even human. This happens on many levels, man. I remember when they was going at Serena Williams at one of those tennis matches overseas one time. They were going at Serena, hollering all kind of slanderous, terrible words out from the crowd. See? What makes them comfortable? What makes them feel like it's all right to do that? See? So at the end of the day, what should be our course of action? Because they want to continue to make us look like these dangerous, controversial figures because they want to take our fight out of us. Because they know that if our money is threatened, if they know that, man, they stopped my connection again, y'all. But what I'm saying was, when you feel threatened, when they put the cloud over your head that you may lose salary, you may be suspended, you may be fined or something along those lines, it takes your fight from you. So now you no longer want to stand in solidarity with your brothers and sisters who are fighting against injustice, because you're like, oh, they see me out there. If they see me out there, I might get in trouble. I might lose my job. I might lose my spot on the team. See, all of these different things play into that approach that they use. So they want to take the fight out of you. See? And the sad part about it is that we don't even realize on those scales, on those big scales, there's many of us who realize it down on the scale we on, but they are threatening to take away the money that you are generating. They threatening to take away the money that you generated. So if I won't use Michael Jordan as an example, because he never publicly stood up against anything black. I mean, stood for anything black, just because he knew who his boss was. He knew his bread was buttered. But there are others who they'll bow down. They won't do it. And they don't understand that, look, man, these people coming to see me. All these people in these stands, they coming to see me. That's what Muhammad Ali understood. Because he had been taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like, they coming to see me. So I can talk my talk. I can walk with my head up, walk firm, and stand strong, because I understand where my bread is buttered. I understand that. So you threatening me with the money I made for you. That's kind of like when you go on unemployment. Anybody ever got an unemployment check? If you ever got an unemployment check, if y'all in here watching this right now, raise your hand if you ever got an unemployment check. Notice I got mine up. You ever got an unemployment check? Raise your hand. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because when you get unemployment checks, that's actually your money that you've generated from the time when you were actually employed. Parts of that money that you were making when you were employed, they were taking that out, extracting, and it builds up. And that constitutes your unemployment benefits whenever that time comes for you to try to collect unemployment. But the crazy part about it is they'll make you believe like that's not your money. That's money that you just getting from, we're just giving you this money. And no, that's actually your money. Then they'll have like debates to say like, should we give him this money? Well, did you quit the job or did you get fired? What do it matter? if that's supposed to be my money. I don't care if I quit and cussed the man out, stormed out in the middle of the shift. If I have generated these funds, then according to what you say, that's my money. But they'll make a determination and say, well, nah, we determined that you don't qualify for the unemployment benefits. And you won't even get it. You might need it. So this is similar in principle. They are threatening you and they are shutting you down based on the money that you make. How is money generated in sports? It's generated through ticket sales, by fans buying tickets to come see you. It's generated from merchandise, your name on these jerseys, on these hats. It's generated from, of course, parking, people paying to come into the arena to see you, concession. All these things are possible, made possible because we got to go see Steph Curry tonight. Well, we got to go see Drake tonight, man. Drake is in town. We're going to see him. This record label that has this artist on the label signed to a 360 deal where the 360 deal says that we get a part of your, not only just your record sales, we get a part of your merchandise, we get a part of your shows, we get a part of the Sprite commercial you did, we get a part of the reality show you on, we get a piece of everything. All these things that these billionaires continue to be fed off of is generated through you. Food, appreciate that, Zawaji Muhammad. So like Mr. Mingo just said, we won't, but we have to educate ourselves to the game. But the key thing we have to educate ourselves on is the understanding of knowing that, I say this all the time, we are the product. We are what's generating the money. It's us. You can name any NBA owner, NFL owner, any record label executive, any movie corporation executive. Who's going to see them do anything? Who's going to see them do anything? Nobody. They're coming to see the players. They're coming to see the singer. They're coming to see the rapper. So who has the power? Supposedly, we're supposed to have the power. But we feel as though we can't properly put ourselves out there. We can't maximize our exposure and maximize our visibility and maximize our bank accounts if it doesn't go through them. And that's a mistake that we make. That's a mistake. All we got to do is trust each other. Trust each other to work together, and we will generate just as much as they generate. That's why separation is such a controversial comment, a topic rather, in the Black community. It's a controversial topic because you got people who say, let's just get the hell away from them. Let's just separate, build our own, establish our own, and we good. Then you got other people that's like, well, man, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? They got all of this. They got all of that. How are we going to have toilet paper? How are we going to get some toilet paper if we separate? Because we have talented people in all fields among us that can generate whatever it is that we need. They have the knowledge to generate whatever it is that we need. I have met so many people in my days that have generated and manufactured pretty much everything that we use on a daily basis, from toothpaste to toilet paper. growing their own food, have the knowledge of agriculture, the knowledge of business. See, anything that we need, everything that we need already exists within our own community, we're under like that umbrella. Everything. But we scared. We scared and we feel comfortable where we are. We don't want to be removed out of our comfort zone, so we will keep allowing them to talk about us the way they talk about us, to continue to tell us that we should be grateful. All the while, the truth is, they should be grateful. If you got a whole country that was built for you, free of charge, you should be grateful. Think about that for a minute. A whole nation built for you free. What if somebody just showed up one day and said, hey man, we're gonna build you a house? You're gonna say, well, hold on, what's the catch? How much? No, we're just gonna build it. We're gonna get the wood, we're gonna get all the supplies, we're gonna come lay it out, map it out, design it, build it from scratch, and you gonna live in it. And you don't owe us nothing. You'll be like, man, what's the catch? You will know that it's some kind of hustle. Man, they're gonna come back 2 weeks later and take the house. I know you would know it's some kind of hustle. But then you find out that it wasn't a hustle. You're gonna say, well, man, thank you, man. I'm really grateful for that. I appreciate that. We ain't never heard those words. Oh, I forgot Bill Clinton apologized 20-something years ago for slavery. I just want to let everybody know I'm sorry. he shot out little, I'm sorry. It's like, okay. Now, once that I'm sorry came, we was like, okay, all right, well, I guess they finna run us this bread now. They finna run us these reparations now. And I don't like to just say bread as it relates to reparations, because that's been a confusing point. People think that reparations is just would be the government just cutting checks for black people. Nah, it would mean a lot more than that. But seeing as how this government never, ever, ever plans on ever giving black people reparations, then it continues to be just a conversation, and it continues to be something that we will continue to put pressure on them to do, whether we feel like they'll do it or not. They still need to feel that pressure. The current president, Joe Biden, has never been in favor of reparations. And regardless of what he says now or may try to spin in the future, he'll never be in favor of reparations. He's I can't even call him a covert racist, because he been I always talk about the difference between Joe Biden with the black hair and Joe Biden today. Joe Biden with the black hair, he wasn't covert at all. He was overt. He was in the open with it. Now he's a little more trying to be on the slick. But the bottom line is, if we sit around, regardless of how much we demand, even in the time of demanding, while we're demanding, it's still very important and very necessary that we are working to do for ourselves, even while demanding reparations or whatever it is we demanded from them. We can't just be saying, give us reparations. We're just waiting for it. See? You know you got an income tax check coming whenever it comes, right? But are you going to not work the last 6-8 months of the year because, hey, man, my income tax going to come in sooner or later? I claim my cousin's kids. I'm going to get a lick this year. No, you're going to still work. You still got to put the work in. So the mentality to tell you to be grateful because you live in a country that enslaved you. Your ancestors carried out free labor, picked all the cotton, all of the main resources that this country was built on. We went out and worked it, right? So be grateful that y'all let us do that for y'all and didn't give us anything in return. Yet when slavery was over, and the slave masters lost their slaves, there was compensation given to the slave masters for losing their slaves. So slave masters got reparations before the slave did. I ain't making this up. So what are we being grateful for? What is it that we have to be grateful for? Our gratitude should not be directed towards you because you paid us some money, because you paid us a check, because you gave somebody $100 million, $20 million. I don't care how much money, 80 billion. My gratitude goes to the Creator. My gratitude goes to God. And I have to continue to ask the Creator to give me the wisdom to not be fooled by the fact that you gave me $100 million to make you think that you care about me, that you love me and my family and what we do. No, we know what you care about. You care about the bottom line. Because the minute I'm unable to generate revenue for you, I'm done. I'm out of there. No matter how many times you had me at your house and we laughed, and that means nothing now because now you got somebody else there. The new person that's gonna start that process all over for you. So they like safe Negroes. The word Negro means dead. They like safe, dead black people. The safe ones don't cause no problems. The safe ones are going to be, oh, no, I'm not speaking of, no. I don't believe that the police are intentionally targeting unarmed black people. No, no. Or that the safe ones are going to go, no comment. The safe ones are going to say, well, what do you think about that? They're going to say, well, I mean, I just feel like, this is America and we've all had great opportunities and we should all be able to coexist. That's what the safe one's going to say. That's what they like. But they always on the mountaintop looking to make sure, because when one of the controversial ones come through and talk that talk, we got to shut him down. Or we got to try him. And what I mean when they say try him, they're going to come at you and then they're going to be like, you know what, man, we didn't like what you said. That was offensive. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to apologize? We're going to need you to clean that up. We make a lot, we pay you a lot of money. We've made your family, we've put you and your family in a position to be set for life. We found it very disrespectful for you to make that comment that you made. Yeah, but is what I said true? If what you said was true, if what you stood for was just, the second that you bow down to them and punk out to them, you have automatically just snatched out a chunk of your own soul and your own heart that you can't get back. When you know you was right, you know they was wrong. You know what you standing for is real, but you let them punk you out of the position anyway because you got scared. You just lost a piece of yourself that you can't get back. So I like when Kyrie Irving says what he says. I like when Demarcus Cousins said what he said, because he's speaking directly to the establishment. Even if his beef might have been with a fan or something, with a particular individual, that was a time where we couldn't even say nothing. We had to put our head down. If white folks was coming down the sidewalk, we had to do this. So if I speak to an individual who disrespected me, I'm speaking to the whole establishment. Because this generation is different from those who put their head down. And it ain't no disrespect to our ancestors, because they did what they felt they had to do to survive. And if you ain't been in them shoes, then you can't talk about, man, well, boy, if that was me, if I was around back then, I would have. You don't know what you would have did. Let's see what y'all talking about, man. We flash back, see what y'all talking about. I've been running my mouth. What are you saying is we can build a stronger family if we just say F it and enjoy each other's love. That's all it's about. That's how you build. Yeah, you know, I talked about that on a video I made the other day. You know, strong family, man. Strong family equals strong community. But we got to be broken out of that mind frame that if they don't give it to us, we can't get it. That's how we think, man. How do you think that the independent record labels and hip hop, how do you think all those were born and formulated? They were formed because in some instances, the major record labels didn't want to sign certain artists. So when the major record labels didn't want to sign certain artists, then those artists said, well, man, let's start up our own label. We'll start our own label. We will manufacture our own product. We will hit the road and distribute it ourselves. We'll put it in the record stores ourselves on consignment. We'll put it in the record stores through selling the product at a wholesale price. We'll travel all through the region. I did it. I ain't talking about something that I heard about. I'm talking about something that I did. 30 cities in 30 days. 300-400 record stores. Not even knowing what town you in when you wake up. I did that. Going to record stores, meeting the manager, asking the manager, hey man, can I put my post up in your store? Hey man, I'd like to give you a copy of my album, man. Look, man, this is where you can purchase it from, man. This is our number. You call, we'll distribute it, we'll send it to you. However many copies. Here, take 2 or 3 copies, just sell them, see if you can sell them. If you sell them, call us back and you can buy some off of it. We did all that. But it was done because the big boys didn't want to mess with us. So if the big boys don't want to mess with you, what you do? You quit? No, you figure out a way to go around them and still get in there. So by the time we was done, my album is right in the K section. With any other artist that start with a K, my album was right there with them in all these stores. So we established our feet solid. So don't tell me we can't get it unless we get it through them. It's not true, man. Pyromania says, this is why I was so upset at you, K. You wanted Biden over Trump, and I get it. Let me say this, because I used to have this conversation with this other cat on here. You have never ever heard me endorse Joe Biden, ever. Never. And you, like many other, well, few others, I ain't so many, have somehow created this narrative. And I know how it got created. It got created because when Trump was the president, and I would go in on him, just like most people who are immersed in that political thought process, they assume that because I go against a certain candidate, that I am for another candidate. I ain't for none of them. Never have been. Show me the tape. Show me the tape of me, Joe Biden. Yeah. There ain't never been no tape like that. Because all of them are corrupt. Every last one of them. That's all I ever stood on. See? The closest thing you can get me, the closest thing you can get on me is in the very beginning of the Obama campaign. I was like, man, I'd love to see that brother get in. I was riding with Obama. That's the closest you're going to get from me. You ain't never seen me endorse Joe Biden, ever. Because I knew who he was when he was with Obama. So I don't know where y'all get that, but I'm going to break that up right now. Don't assume because I was hollering, screaming down on Trump, oh, well, you must be a Democrat. No. I always got to quote my own lyrics, man. I said, every president that ever lived was foul. See, this is what you got to understand about me. Like Chuck D said, I'm a follower of Farrakhan. So how could I be a person who rides with Minister Farrakhan on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm over here in this political arena putting my hopes and wishes and dreams that one of these dirty candidates are going to save us. That don't even make sense. When I stand with a man who's been teaching us that America is going to fall, America's going to be destroyed. So why would I be trying to cling to any one of them clowns when I know that this country is going to be destroyed? Don't make sense. I don't even use the word hope. The only chance that America has would be to do right, what we're talking about right now, by its former slaves and its current slaves, which we just got through discussing. She never gonna do that. Never gonna get reparations. Never gonna get justice. It's not gonna ever happen. So if you have a just, fair God who's looking at all of the treatment, all of the thievery, all of the murder, all of the lies and the lynching and the corruption that every leader of this country has carried out at the expense of the Native American, the black man, the brown man. Come on, man. Poor white folks. See? How would I be putting my hope into Joe Biden? So y'all don't really know. Y'all just listen to some songs and think, oh, nah, man, you don't listen enough. Because if you did, you know, you'd be like, oh, nah. You can't call me a Democrat or a Republican. None of that. They're all the same to me. All of them are the same. They just get down in different ways. See? Magic Johnson got 5 championship rings. Tim Duncan got 5 championship rings. But they played 2 different positions. They won in different ways. They ran their teams in different ways. So when you look at these presidents, it's the same way. They are all evil, corrupt devils. Had to say it. They just do it in different ways. So the Democrats, okay, oh man, the Democrats, and they over here talking about how dirty the Republicans is. I'm talking about black folks now. Man, them Republicans, man. Oh man, you gotta watch them Republicans. And the black Republicans, man, that's y'all on the Democratic plantation. Yeah, they tell the truth. The Democrats telling the truth and the Republicans telling the truth because they both are throwing stones at each other as if either one is righteous and morally sound, when both of them is corrupt. So what gave you the idea that I was co-signing any of that? Never heard it pointed out. Biden was a giant segregationist and most minorities voted from. Look, Biden was, as soon as he got in, he was like, gotcha. Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I guess I ain't black. Because you can't find no record of me voting for nobody ever in my life. Scumbag Ivan. Salute to you, man. Dope tracks. Mr. Mingo, 40 acres in the mute. Every prompt, we ain't get started on that. Come on, man. So, this is what we deal with, man. We deal with a country that tells us that we should be grateful because they want to individualize us. And what do I mean by that? That if they give you $10 million, they say, see, he made it, he's successful. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said no individual can rise above the condition of his people. That means it don't matter how much I got, if my folks still struggling, we ain't got nothing. And then you program me and twist me up and condition me or scare me into getting the money from you and not wanting to even go down and help my people, because that ain't what you gave me the money for. You didn't give me the money to help my people. You gave me the money to shut the hell up, to shut up and dribble. Okay. Let me give y'all some shout outs real quick, man. I see my homie John up in this thing, Bluntimus Prime. One of the realists out there in that area, in that on that East Coast area. What's that, Boston and Rhode Island up in there? That's my guy, man, John. Stray Dog said I never voted. Jason, Mr. Mingo, Raw Munoz. Do you see me? Because I love that you allow me to see and learn from you. Man, hey, God is great, man. Load of truth. Come on now. Kamisha Turner, appreciate you. Just giving y'all some shout outs, man. Y'all drop y'all locations for me real quick. Let me know where y'all at. Drop your locations. We're going to rep for your city, for your town, for your country. You might be in another country. Mr. Mingo said they never come around till voting time. Yeah, we fall for it every time. The Forgotten, I see you. Drop y'all locations, man. I see you, 74 Red in New Zealand. VG Repairs in San Diego. The 804. What's 804? What area code is that? Kamisha out there in Austin. Jado, what's up, man? Memphis Mix. I like all of them. I haven't listened to all of them, but you be having the classics, bro. Pritchard, Alabama. Daniel rolling up in this thing. Cynthia Albro out there in Lufkin. Jason in Texas. Joseph out there in Australia, South Granville. Okay, Lexington, South Carolina. All right. ATX, Dallas, Rap Palace Corp. Dollar Bill. G County, man. One of the most humble, coolest guys, man. Most authentic guys, man. Martial arts, my brother. Chicago, Oklahoma, by way of Chicago. Okay, 251. What's 251? Australia. Oh, you was at the show when I came to Australia. Okay, look, hey, I'm going to be in Denver, Colorado. It's Thursday. K-Rino and Point Blank will be in Denver, Colorado, man. If y'all anywhere close to Denver, come see us, man. I'll put the information in the description of this video. We will be in Denver, Colorado this Thursday night. I know it's a work night. I know it's a school night. 972, that's Dallas, Daytona Beach. Yeah, no question. Port Lavaca. Jay the Pioneer, what's up, homie? Okay, what's up? Oh, what's up, Jay? What's up, Jay? No question, man. Hit me up, Jay. I told you, hit me. It ain't if, it's when. Let me know you need me, bro. I'm coming. The Love Goat. I remember that club because I always think about that name. Leonard Green. And Leonard Green from Barton Springs, North Carolina, Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento, Jason. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. This whole thing was about Demarcus Cousins. Because he said the Sacramento Kings, not the city of Sacramento. He said the Kings organization never did nothing for him. And then George Karl wanted to jump in and throw his 2 cents in. See, they expect you to just bow down and be grateful. And thank you. Man, when y'all have created all these conditions under which our people are suffering, and you make a few of us rich and we're supposed to be grateful. And you're mad because we're not dumb no more. See? So now they take the term woke and they turn that into a derogatory term. No, see how it gets done? Back in the day, when somebody said, yeah, man, them boys woke. Now the word woke is a derogatory term now. It's a term that people make oh, here come them woke Negroes again. Oh, everybody's so woke now. Woke. They make it into a derogatory statement when in reality, woke is a great thing if you truly woke. But they don't want you to be woke. They want you to be broke. Spiritually broke. And financially broke. 251, Mobile, Alabama. Okay. Come to Denver, Colorado, man. Come see your big brother in Point Blank, man. We're going to get down to do our thing. Mr. Cap going to be there. Yodi going to be in the building. President Brisbane. I'm trying to shout all y'all out, man. What's up? Lindsay, you done changed your name. Angela, you just went double last name on us, huh? What does my shirt say? My boy JD is up in the chat. I saw him. This is my homie JD. This is his concoction. This is what we got to understand. This is the theme of the night. See? That lines right up with the theme of what I'm talking about tonight. Put it where it belongs. Care of things that you're supposed to care about. Care about our unity. Don't worry about somebody telling you you should be grateful, boy. Hold on, I saw somebody. Yeah, Demarcus is from Alabama, right? Rap Palace says, I built our own eBay and Uber Eats company. Yeah. Come on with it, bro. Let's build our own. Once again, y'all, I'm gonna shut it down because they've been interrupting it. They've been interrupting my live all night. And I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's certain topics that when you go in, they don't want you to go in on because they don't want us woke. They want us broke. Always telling a joke until we get provoked. All right, man. Y'all be blessed, man. I'm out.